for the purposes of the notes for the annual report committee and for the council as a record for the council for the CY council for District 75. All right, we apologize for the delay, but we should be moving shortly.
Yes, Dr. Burton has joined us. We are going to run through some of the tasks that we needed completed, the committee reports and other items with the agenda that Dr. Burton is going to go through in the draft with our annual report. And now for time, I'm going to go ahead and give it over to Dr. Burton. Thank you for joining us again.
No problem. Hi, everyone. I just, President Biden and Vice President Kamala they're in town. So I really have to get to move in so I can get home because it's a lot of traffic out. So anyway, once again, May 27th, we wanted to get all of the reports in, and I see we don't have them. But if we don't have them, it's okay, because I think that a lot of the data that I disaggregated in the busing survey, thank you, Amy, and the stuff on the data from the school quality snapshot, that took care of the rigorous instruction in a supportive environment. And I'm going to show you, before I even get into anything, I wanted to show you what we have. Do I have rights to share?
1 second. All right. Mr. Lawrence, if you're hosting, can you make Dr. Burton a co-host?
Yeah, she's already one.
Okay, cool.
Okay, thank you.
All right, let me go into in this share. Hold on 1 second. And then we can move forward. So are there any questions of anything that needs to be done that you can think of when it comes to the reports? Are you having a hard time with them? Do you need any help? Because I really wanted to get all of the committee reports on there, but I really wanted to get it done like ASAP. So if you have them, you can like shoot them to me. I'll give you my email address. Hold on, here we go. All right, where is do this all day, share screen. Here we go. All right, here we go. First page, such as always. Now I've added the District 75 leadership with the superintendent and the directors of offices, and I'm gonna go slow. I got the message from CCD75 co-presidents, great message. And that's there. Y'all wanna look at it real quick? And I'm working on the table of contents right now. I'm putting page numbers on the table of contents as well as the pages. So don't look at the table. This is the same thing from last time. The mission, history, about District 75. Same thing, programs offered. Didn't change that. Did not change citywide council for District 75. Didn't change any enrollment data from 1920. Didn't change the District 75 school quality snapshot information. I told you guys that due to COVID-19, about the scores were not available for 2019, 20 and 2020-21 school year. And this is what we talked about, rigorous instruction and supportive environment. So that accumulates the things when we're talking about curriculum. So that curriculum report, we can use this information if you don't mind. I gave some recommendations based on the school quality report. And I also gave recommendations when it came to supportive environment. And that's those two right there. Then we went on to the busing transportation questionnaire that went out to all of District 75. So when you click on each hyperlink, someone sent me this article it wasn't, you guys didn't send it to me. When I went through the survey, a parent couldn't articulate what they wanted to say. So they said to click on this article and the article's gone. Oh, that's surprising. Okay, well, I'll go back and fix that. Don't worry about that. Go back. Sorry about that. And I was supposed to click on that article. So that was talking about 74 million. It was talking about parents complaining about the busing situation. So I'll go back and find that article and make sure it's hyperlinked in. And that's what the parent wanted to speak on. Then how can our council best use his voice to serve you regarding busing? So I took all of what the parents said and I put it in a chart so that you can see all of the narratives from the parents on how can our council best use his voice. So this is really good information. I read through each and every one of them. So it's really good information. I'm gonna go back. And I did that for each one of them. So it's really good information for parents to read if they want to know more about what's happening. How can our council, or what improvements would you suggest? I also did the same thing with that. And are there any questions you would like submitted to OPT? And I put please, well, the survey said, please submit below. And this is the information. The other questions that were listed on there were very, it was yes or no. So I wanted it to be more informative so that you can take this data or this information or the narratives from parents and you can go forth with meeting with different leaders in NYC public schools in order to make sure that you get the message across about busing. So here goes the results from the survey that we just did amongst ourselves. And this is the survey, the CCD75 Annual Report Committee Parent Family Survey results. And this talked about the academic programs offered during this school year, very satisfied, satisfied. I'm gonna tell you guys, after I went through all of the data and the raw data, calculating everything, most people were very satisfied or satisfied. As you can tell, the numbers over here, neither satisfied nor dissatisfied, very dissatisfied. It did not match the numbers over here, except the recovery services. It was recovery services. That's when the numbers were higher. So you can just look and see when these two numbers may have been in combination. This is like 62, and this may be like 38. So you'll see the differences when you look at this. It also was a negative spot when they talked about the services provided in response to students not being picked up by the bus service. So the bus service, recovery service, things that you already know were the big issues when you look at the numbers based on the 79 responses we received, English, French, and Spanish. So that's the newest thing. Then this is the same thing, NYC DOE Special Education Data Report that came out in November 2021. And I have a hyperlink for that. The NYC DOE globes. Now, I put these as globes because these are, I got this from newspaper articles, such as I stated last time. And I wanted to make sure these are data points. They offer special education recovery service, whether people liked it or they did not like it, they did offer it, incorporated an academic recovery program, and the panel approves $43 million to replace troubled special education data system by this fall coming up. Now the grows, I kept the same grows for NYC DOE. Now when it comes to District 75, this is what I need from all of you, please. Whatever took place within your committee this year, can you tell me the things that or superlative, such as if y'all had an outreach event, or if some people gathered together to meet with the busing, with OPT in order to resolve an issue, something that stands out from the rest, or something that was done that was not in your normal council duties, but something that you can put in here that I would love, need glows of what D75 has done this year when it comes to whatever committee you're working on, or to just help. Yes, Christy.
Can we pull some of that together from the reports that are already submitted? Can we pull that out so that it just glows on this one page, but it's also in the, okay, perfect.
Yeah, I don't care where you get it from. It just looks good that, you know, as a council, these are the things that we're glowing about. These are the things that we're excited about. These are the things that are happening within our council to make District 75 better. I think that would be great if you guys could give me some good stuff. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay.
And then the goals, I just put develop an internal tool to analyze and assess the systems in place for students in District 75. What I mean by internal tool is like we developed that because it was a collective, that survey, because you guys gave me questions and I put the questions together, and that was that was a collective collaborative initiative. But every year you want to have your focal points of what you want to or how you want to analyze and access systems in place for students. And then also working with NYC DOE, maybe you can find one point person for every, like if you have an outreach committee, who's the big outreach person for in DOE? And I don't know how it works as a collective, but finding other people in other districts so that you can work together for efficient systems. Then I also put manage the placement of recovery service to benefit students. Because right now, when I read all the information from what parents are saying about the recovery services, I think that managing that placement of like what's happening, or maybe the system, maybe I should change the word from placement, or manage the systems, or work with the people who are managing the systems for the recovery service. And then I put ensure that the Sandy assessment is given every year. I don't know if that's even in your auspice or even in your control, but making sure that it's getting done, because that inventory is a really good inventory that talks about student needs, and then determine the areas of growth and improvement, as well as the plans for success for students. Because you could have your plans and you could submit your plans to the superintendent or to the school leadership and say, this is our expectations. And this is, we want to begin with an end in mind. This is what we want to start with. We're saying we're going to focus on recovery services, day treatment. I'm making these things up. Busing. These are our 3 focal points, and this is what we're going to focus on as a council. And I think that's something as a council you guys can sit down and vote on. What are going to be your focal points for students? Maintain current and relevant information on District 75 website pertaining to the effectiveness of the local school district. I know you guys heard me vent last time about looking for data. I don't know what's going on because New York is a large school district, but the data is not, I don't care what anyone say, it is not as accessible as it should be. If I was just a random person, I want to look up something in Indiana, I know I can go to the DOE website and I can archive stuff from 2013. So I'm saying it needs to be just that succinct. Assist NYC DOE with the retrieval of special education data, because that is not, it's not there. Or if it is there, I don't know where it is. And I've called people, and I'm not going to keep calling and emailing the same people over. Inclusive services should be offered in every district 1 through 32 schools. When I looked through, there were just specific schools. So maybe that can be another push, that it can be inclusive services in every school. And then during 2022-2023 school year, determine an accountability system and retrieval of data for specific focal points, such as, like I just said, inclusion. And I'll go back and erase the other one, because I'm talking about the same thing right there. I'm being redundant. So I'll write down page 26. I got to go back and check that out. All right, so I got 22 more pages. 27, this is the same thing, fiscal year. We talked about DOE, their capital plans. And then we talked about the capital plans for District 75. So I found this slide that was presented by this lady, Tamar Smith. Are y'all familiar with this? Yes, no? I can't see anybody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I took this, I don't know where I got it from, but it was good information. And I wanted to put the capital plans for D75. And this is the plans for D75. And so I put that in here. And then the day treatment program, someone sent me this information. I don't know who sent it to me, but thank you. Family engagement, someone sent this to me and I thought it was really good, 2 pages. And they told me, and this is, now this right here is a glow. Approximate number of participants in total for this event. That is something to talk about. The parent workshops, that's a glow. So Chrissy, that right there is a glow. You know, how many parents showed up for that event? That's a glow. Special education inclusive services. I got this from, let me see where I got this from. include NYC. I think last time we were on a meeting, someone gave me this link, and I found some good stuff on there. So thank you for that link. And I think I was on page 27. I'm past that. All right. So after we talked about this special education services, and this is where the committee reports go. If you have anything on safety, it could be a paragraph. It doesn't have to be a report, a paragraph talking about like what protocols are in place now that COVID has happened. What's happening now if we have to pivot again? Yes, Christy.
I just wanted to update on behalf of the safety committee. They are reaching out to Mark Rampersant to see what is going on in regard to protocols, what we have to pivot that you spoke on last time regarding what are the words I'm trying to say? Basically, we're Councilmember Joanne, Councilmember Aisha, and I do believe our President, Mr. Craig Spencer, is reaching out to make sure that we can find out what's been done in the past, what the plans are recently that's been put in place after the pandemic, and what safety protocols are going to be in place moving forward in a roundabout way. So hopefully we can have that back to you as soon as possible.
That'll be good. And then the other one, transitions. Oh, they came through real fast. Thank you, transitions. I don't know what that little mark is right there. They came through real fast. And then we have the outreach. Thank you for outreach. And what I'm going to do, I told you guys last time, I'll make a QR code for that so people can just click on it. And busing. I know that's in the works right now. And then bylaws. You think we're going to have a bylaws? Whoever's over bylaws committee report.
Councilmember Constance Asiadu is on. Oh, wait, see, Ms. Green, you have an answer for that? I can go ahead and turn that over to you.
Yeah, we met not long ago. Constance Asiadu is the chair, our council member, and we shall have a turnover probably by, I would say within the next 2 days. You'll get the report from that, because that was the second or the third meeting we had for the bylaws. I think it was the second meeting for the bylaws committee this year.
Good. Do y'all want any, and that's the end of the report, and this is going to be the end content information for the citywide council. And it says that agendas and meetings in this part right here. I might ask Chrissy to add this in here. But is there any other committee reports you got? Because I'm getting ready to start doing the page numbers on trying to tighten up the page numbers and things. Is there anything else that you think you want to see in this report?
I got a question for you. Because you had mentioned the day treatment, and they gave you, it was actually the IDT that they gave you, and not the DT. The DT is the day treatment. The IDT is different than the day treatment.
I don't know what you talk. I'm lost.
You get the one that has the 5 schools, the 5 centers that they gave you, the day treatment.
Hold on one second. Let me pull it up real quick. This is not day treatment. This right here is not day treatment.
It's IDT.
Oh, IDT. I see.
The different day treatment is everywhere, all across the board.
Okay, this is IDT.
It's intensive day treatment. That's like a 45-day hold. It's a whole different process.
Got it.
The state runs part of it and whatnot. I've gotten a principal who's willing to speak with the writer about it. So with you about it. So I'm going to try to get some more information from him.
Okay. So day treatment is in every school.
Day treatment is in practically every school, not every school, because every school might not need day treatment. They may not have a kid with the classification for day treatment, but 99.9% of the schools that have programs for autistic children in particular also have day treatment programs for children who have, I can't remember, they're trying to change the designation from emotionally disturbed to, I think, emotionally challenged or something. The state is trying to come up with a name that's more conducive for the IEPs, for the purpose of the IEPs. But children or students that are receiving IDT services is slightly different, because that is someone who is actually in crisis at that time. It's not, it's not a forever thing. You do not stay in IDT forever. Well, you could, but technically you shouldn't. And you could be coming from a school that's actually outside of 75 into 75 for that intensive day treatment for the X amount of days, for the 45 days or whatever, and then they reassess after that.
Since it's such a small, it's for a subgroup, probably not a large subgroup. I don't know how many kids are in intensive day treatment. Do you even want it in this report?
Yeah, I want it in there because people need to know it exists. Other than
Okay.
that, there are about 10 beds, and I'm gonna use New Jersey because I know New Jersey stats for whatever reason. There are about 10 beds, juvenile beds for mental health in the state of Jersey, in the state of New York, there's more than that, but not much more. So when parents have children that are in crisis at the time they're in crisis, I'm not talking about over the number of years, at the time they're in the crisis, there are programs, these programs in particular, that they can go to rather than having to go to 17 different facilities to find a program, because it's administered by the DOE, but it's also administered by the department, the Office of Mental Health and Hygiene for the state of New York, or run these programs. So there is a psychiatrist that is on staff full-time. There are teachers who are DOE teachers that are there full-time. There's like all that stuff in those particular facilities. That's why they're particular facilities. But I can speak to the one from 368 because I was the PA president there for 7 years. And we had at least 200 kids at any given time that were in IDT. So although it's small, it's not as small as you think. And I'm sure the one in Staten Island, because at one point they were at one of my other schools, they used to bus their kids to the other school to do the academic parts of their program. So those are the only two I can talk to because those are the two that I had direct access to the families or the students.
Okay.
But the other three do exist as well.
Okay. So I'm going to have pages. I have page breaks in between it. Right now, I don't have any page breaks. Like when we talking about fiscal, I have a page break and it'll say, fiscal. And then it'll say programs offered or something like that. And then it'll say report. So, okay. All right.
Okay.
So is there anything, thank you for telling me that. Anything else you think anyone thinking about? Is there a hand up? Is there? I can't see.
No, that was me.
Oh,
I'd also like to add, I'm still working on the definition for inclusion as it is, because they're inclusive settings. And I'm sure they gave you all of the inclusive settings, but inclusion and inclusive settings are not necessarily the same thing.
Okay.
So I'll get a definition off to you because we have quite a few members on our council who have children who are in inclusion in that way. So that there's a better understanding for parents about the settings, because there's only 23 of our 61 programs that do offer inclusion.
Okay.
So even if you landed in one of those 23 schools, it's no guarantee that you would be offered an inclusion program for your child.
Okay. All right. Well, once you get that to me, just email that to me. Like I said, I have to leave. I was supposed to leave at
No
4:30.
problem.
I got to get on this road because they're blocking off everything because the president and vice president are here. But just email me, you guys. Email me. Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
All right. Thank you.
I just want to throw an alley-oop in here. Dr. Burton's leaving for vacation on the 9th. And
Okay.
since we did miss the deadline for the 27th, we really have to try to, thank you for saying you could turn the bylaws around in 2 days. If we could expedite everything, I've talked to safety, they're trying to turn it around extremely quickly. So anything that we need, I know everyone's very, very busy, but since we are behind the deadline and she is leaving for vacation, if we could try to get those turned around as quickly as possible so that we can fully go over the edited draft document before we have any last finalizations, that would be really, really helpful.
No problem.
I don't think I have any further updates outside of what Dr. Burton gave. Do you have anything, Celia?
Turkey.
Christian?
I'm sorry. Say again, Christy.
Do you have any, I don't have any updates outside of what Dr. Burton gave, and just needing to get the other items turned around pretty quickly. I can send.
All right. Everything I have an update on really is about turnaround. I have like the same things that I just mentioned, doing the inclusion explanation and whatnot. The only thing I forgot to mention is that we need to include Suffolk. So I need to find out where, I I need to find out from the district what they usually put down, because I know it's the 5 boroughs and we've listed the 5 boroughs, but there are
Right.
also 75s in Suffolk County. Don't ask me why. I don't know why, but they are. So
I
just
didn't,
want-
when I pulled up the list of it that I shared with everyone, I didn't find that. So if there are, we should definitely go ahead and get that covered, if we could turn it around quickly. But I think,
well, that I will contact the district for, because I really don't know where and stuff. I did know at one point, because I did run into one of the programs at one point, but I could not begin to remember where, where in Suffolk it was. So I couldn't tell you it was in a particular town or whatever.
okay. Well, outside of that, I guess we should just go through and ask anyone if they have any further recommendations that they would like to see us put into our annual committee report that we're submitting. I did pass it along to you, Ms. Green, so that you can just see if there's anything else that you choose to add as well. Outside of that, I think we might have had a pretty tight meeting that we might not need to go further on unless there are any other updates or anyone wants to give feedback about what we just reviewed.
Okay, so does anyone have a question or a comment? You can use either the raise hand feature, or if you're on the phone, I can't remember if it's *6 or *9, but it's one of those two. Will let us know that.
I believe *6.
Yeah. Thank you, *6. Yeah, and I'm not seeing.
Oh, Pat raised her
Okay,
hand.
Pat, go ahead, Pat, please.
It's a little difficult because I'm using my iPad,
Mhm.
because we're all multitasking this evening. So I just wanted to know, I don't know if it's in there or not, but like, I know that P138 has like maybe 10 sites and each site has a different program in it, right? Because we don't really have, these 75 doesn't really represent schools, they represent programs. It took me a long time to figure that out. So I just wanted to know, in our annual report, is there a way to say like, name the locations that P138 has, and like what's the basic program provided there? Does it provide inclusion? If so, which site it does? And I'm pretty sure that the District 75 often should be able to supply those statistical information. I don't see why they shouldn't, because in an annual report like that, that would be very useful for parents that are looking for a specific programs and they don't know where they're located.
Good question. In the list that I sent out, I guess a while ago when we had the May 27th deadline, all of the inclusion schools are listed by borough with all of the phone numbers and contact information. So I realized that I guess we weren't able to call any of the schools or any of the locations, but we do have all the schools, all the locations.
We don't have to call them. We just want to provide that statistical information.
Oh, we wanted to call for the data. We're not able to get the data unless we physically contact every single school. That's what we were
That's
talking about in
sad.
the last
That's sad
meeting.
because Superintendent Kettler should have that.
No, that's agreed. Yeah.
Sharupaka, excuse me for mispronouncing her name.
Chopra.
She
Yep.
should have that.
It's Rushika Chopra.
She should have that. That's
Dr.
her
Burton
baby.
reached out. Yeah, no, Dr. Burton has reached out several times to her and to, it was one other person's name. I can't remember and I don't want to say
that
it
is so
correctly.
sad.
But yes,
Wow.
that's why in the last meeting we had that
That's
task
very
list. It's like,
disappointing.
here's all of the boroughs and let's try to scramble on our own to see what we could get per school if they had their own data at the schools.
Wow. Well, we may not be able to include it in this annual report, but we should definitely put them on blast for not being forthcoming with that information.
Absolutely, and make recommendations so that it can be better.
Nobody should have to beg and plead for that. That should be in the interest of transparency. They should be openly willing to provide that. That's, oh boy, I'm really sad about that. I'm going to apologize.
Oh, thanks. I mean, at least we do have information. What we can do is the best that we can do, like try to get our voices in there. You guys know a lot about it. If you can add into it in some capacity in writing up, like with the transition, you did write stuff in the transition committee. Thank you for submitting that with Christy as well. I don't know if there's any edits that we want to put in or whatever information that we want to grab to give to Dr. Burton so that it is still in there. It's covered partly, but not in the totality that we would like it. But I'm grateful that we do have as much as we do have, at least right now.
Wow. All right. Well, that, I know that would have been very important for me when they gave me the parent guide, as to know where, a particular program, if I was interested in it, where it was actually provided, so I know that's, and statistically, they should be able to provide that. They really should. There's no reason why they shouldn't have given her that information.
Yeah,
So
they.
Pat,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, maybe that's one of the grows. Maybe the grow is one of the grows that we take from that, not just that.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
that's listed. That is
All the
listed
other
already. That is, the data part is completely in our annual committee report about what we had challenges with and what we're adding as recommendations. But we can definitely flesh that out in a bigger way so that they understand what we as a committee came up against and what we've seen and what we've noticed and what, we would prefer to help our parents out and families moving forward.
Yes, definitely, definitely. All right, ladies, I echo an amen. So
perfect. I can see if we can try to get one more alley-oop to try to reach out to Rashika, Miss Chopra again. But I know Dr. Burton has done a lot in regard to reaching out, so I can try, or Celia, maybe we can try again just to.
Let me do it.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
And then I'll check back in with you on like maybe Wednesday.
By Thursday.
Thursday. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Okay. And that's all for me.
All right. So does anyone else want to mention anything that?
I just want to say she did an excellent job with the short amount of time. Excellent.
Yeah,
I
she
love the
did. She did
presentation.
an absolutely fantastic turnaround. She did.
Yes, I co-sign that absolutely as well.
Okay.
Do we want to have a date for, I know that our report has to be in before the 30th. Do we want to have another date where we present the finalized draft? Like when do we want her to have everything turned in? I know she's going on vacation on the 9th. So
Well, she has, what it is that she's almost finished now by the looks of it.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? But what we can do, we can she can get it done by the 30th, but we could actually vote to release it in the July meeting.
Right, and we probably can go over
release,
it.
publish, send out kind of thing in the July meeting.
Right.
So which
Then
would cover her up until then, anything that extra came in or whatever. It gives her it gives us anyway, that little pad at a time.
Do we want to try to have it available and give it out to the council members so that we can have any level of discussion on the 15th with our business meeting?
Yeah, what she sent, if we can show that, I think they would be up to speed with it, with what she has had so far.
Okay, perfect.
Like I said, she did a lot with very little.
Yes, absolutely.
And stuff, but she managed to pull out, she did really well. That's best I can describe it. She did really well. She didn't have a whole lot to work with, but what she did pull out and she worked with, she made sense.
Yes, so. Absolutely. Well, what I'll do is I'll take the points of what we need to wrap up expeditiously and just give that to you as well, so we are on the same page, and hopefully we'll be able to tie a bow on this pretty soon.
Okay, definitely. Okay.
Well, if you want to wrap up or adjourn the meeting or whatever, I don't want to take over any part of that, but I do believe that as far as my part is concerned, we are pretty set.
Surely. So I'm sorry, Christy put something in the chat. 1 second. Just want to make sure it wasn't
thank you.
Thank you, Christy. All right. Does anyone else have anything else that's an issue or a burning desire that they want put into the annual report? If so, just shoot us an email, try to put it together and send it to us an email. It's the turnaround basically is between now and Thursday. Okay. All right. So if there are no other comments or questions, I am going to ask for there to be a motion to adjourn this meeting, this bylaws committee meeting.
I move to adjourn.
Can I get a second? Can I get a second?
Camille's on a second.
Thank you, Camille. All right, thank you. All right, so it has been properly moved and properly seconded. So on that note, we are going to adjourn the meeting and we look forward to seeing you at our next meeting. So thank you all for your participation and for your attendance tonight.
Thank you so much. Good night, everyone.
Good night.